excuse me. Start off right away with a sneeze. Hello, hello. Let's see who's hanging out today. Who's on Facebook? For those of you that are watching the replay, this is previously recorded on Facebook. Hi, Tracy. So if you're watching this on YouTube, I have recorded this earlier on Facebook, and now it's on YouTube. So there you go. But if you're on Facebook right now and there is a little red rectangle right here in the corner that says live, you are catching me live. So say hello so I can see who's hanging out with me today in the Sweet Sentiment headquarters. Well, hi, Carrie. Deborah Hayes is making me laugh. She sent me a private message. I know, Tracy. Yay, finally. If you knew how often I thought about you, you would laugh. Because now every single time in my life that... So we used to, in my house, when things like stressed us out, we would go, woosah. But so now it's always moosa. So you're in my thoughts quite often. So if you want to win the project we're working on today, then Moscow. Hi, Tyler. If you want to win the project we're working on today, all you need to do is share this video and then hashtag did someone say prizes. I'm hauled. Woosah. So what we're going to do is we're going to start, I'm going to share with you the stamp sets that I'm using, and then we're going to go from there. So first, I have used Don't Hurry, and I've used this little guy right here, and I stamped him out in using Memento Tuxedo Black, and this is the Sweet Sentiment Kraft paper. So you're going to get a first-hand view of what the craft paper does today. Yes, that is Evil Queen and the Magic Mirror. And then I have the skull from the apple. Yeah. There you go. How did I know you'd pick up on that right away? And okay, so I used the Don't Hurry set, and I used this little guy right here. Then this, like I said, Sweet Sentiment Kraft paper. Then I'm going to use the Stay Home set, and I'm going to use this big turtle right here. And I'm also going to use the sentiment, your speed doesn't matter, progress is progress. Okay. Hi, Cheryl. Jen, hello, hello. I get to go on a road trip with Jen. Hi, Janet. Then I've pulled out the Tropical Flora set. And I'm using the geometric shape from it. I want to show you how versatile this geometric shape can be. So I'm going to use that. And Carrie, this is for you. You inspired me to use this today. So I'm going to show you a fun way that you can use it. Thanks, Rebecca. Hi, April. I'm so happy to see all of you guys here. It makes my little black heart so happy. Okay. So Sweet Sentiment Kraft paper, we have Memento Tuxedo Black. I'm going to be using like a plethora of products today, so I just want to share that with you. So I have lined up the turtle. Oh, and I have the masking paper over the top of the little snail. So I've lined up the turtle, so it looks like the snail is riding on his back. And then I've lined up the really cool geometric shape across the top here, and I'm going to show you what I'm going to do with that in just a second. But for now, we're going to stamp the turtle. And I'm using black ink because I'm using craft paper. I really don't like to do the no lines thing on craft paper. I don't know why. It's just personal preference, I guess. I just really don't like to. You love it already. I loved your live this morning. I was getting my nails done, Carrie, so me and my nail girl, Michaela, were watching your live while she was doing my nails. And that's why I couldn't type like I wanted to, because I was like trying to reply to you. but I couldn't. And this is my stamp chamois. It's disgusting, but don't worry, there's more on order. So stamp chamois will be in stock soon. And I listened to all of your requests, and I think they're all going to be 4x6 this time, so that they're at a lower price point, and you can buy a couple of them, so that when it gets yucky, you can just toss it. So, new 4x6 stamp chamois are coming in stock soon. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave the mask on this little guy because this overlaps him just a tiny bit. And what I'm going to do is, so I've lined this up at the 5.5. And so what I want to do is, there's a couple of ways you can go about this. You can stick this masking paper to the stamp itself, like that, or you can stick it on your paper. I don't really know which one I want to do. I think I'm going to stick it to the stamp itself, just to experiment and see how it works. Okay. Nope, I don't want to do that. I just changed my melon. Okay, so 5.5. I'm gonna line this up. Hopefully this does what I want it to do. And I have it a little bit crooked. And for this, you can just use a Post-it or, hi, Holly. Hello, hello. You know, anything that you want. This is actually masking paper that I'm testing out for a company. So I'll let you know how that goes. So far, I love this masking paper because as you are seeing, I can stick it and unstick it and re-stick it. And I'm loving it. Da-da-da-da-da, I'm loving it. Okay, so I'm going to check one more time and see that it's lined up. I want this line to stamp, so I have it right on the other side of that line. Hello, Jude. How are you, my dear friend? Hey, Deanna. So we're using Sweet Sentiment Kraft cardstock. Just so you know, I don't have very many of these packages in stock right now. So if you are interested in the Sweet Sentiment Kraft cardstock, it is in the shop. I believe I only have like 6 or 8 packages left of it, and then I will order again. It's just I have to order so much at a time. And, oh yes, perfect. Okay, so then... Tracy, I'll show you in just a second. Let me clean my stamp off. Okay. So then I'm going to peel off this mask. Da, 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 da. Perfect. Look at that cool geometric shape. Isn't that awesome? Okay. So then, and I put my mask back on this paper because I can use it a couple more times. And then I usually just slide it under the corner of my mat so that I have it handy. So I'm going to put this back on the Tropical Flora. So I use 3 stamp sets. Tropical Flora, Stay Home, and Don't Hurry. That was a very poor job of putting that back on there. Okay, so there's Tropical Flora. I used the geometric. Set that aside. Here is Don't Hurry. I use the snail right here. I'm going to set that aside. This is Stay Home. I used the big turtle, and now I'm going to use this. Now, so I'm going to take this, and I'm going to line it up in the middle. Right on top of that. I'm going to hope that it's straight. Looks pretty straight to me. Archie, no, it's just the male guy. Now I'm going to take my awesome Rabbit Hole Designs This is the embossing buddy that they have. It's called the Cottontail embossing tool. And I'm going to push that in, and it pops the brush out. And I'm going to brush some of this powder right on top. I love their embossing tool. It's amazing. Best embossing tool I've ever had. And hopefully I will get them back in stock. Then I just pull this up and put it just back like that. My embossing, oh, there it is right there. My Versamark. It is, it's the balm, right? I know, right? Commenting is amazing. And I always like to double when I do embossing. So I always double stamp when I emboss, just so that it's nice and juicy. Use my espresso here. Nice even pressure. Put my lid back on my Versamark. Okay. I know, right? It's the little things. Oh my gosh. Yeah, Rebecca. So it's amazing. It's literally a life changer. So I'm going to pull this up. And I'm going to go over here. And I have my embossing powder. This is the Primary Ebony Superfine in this little container here. And I usually do this right over the top of the container. Ooh, I love it when it does it right the first time. Telling you, that Rabbit Hole Designs embossing tool, it's the bomb. Okay, so plug your ears because I'm going to turn on my heat gun. Just a quick little zap and we are good. And look, there's no like spare, embossing around the outside of it. It's perfectly embossed. It's amazing. Best tool ever. I have an affiliate link. So if you're interested in the embossing tool, let me know and I will give you the affiliate link. So now it's time to pull off our little snail. OMG, he's so cute. And then I put him right back on here so that I can use my mask later. Okay, now it's time to get to coloring. Are you guys excited? The Wi-Fi at your work sucks. Aw, I'm sorry. I hate it when that happens. So we are going to color with Copic markers on top of our craft paper. I have that one in the wrong spot. That's why it's throwing me off. There we go. Okay. So we're going to start coloring this little turtle. And I have YG99. I'll zoom in for you guys. Hi, bye. I know, Rebecca. These are like, they're so cute. So cute. And I just got the turtles back in stock. So, FYI, the turtles are back. And I'm telling you, Those little slugs, the little snails, are so darn cute. They don't seem like it at first because you're like, what am I going to use snails for? But I find myself using them a lot, actually. The sentiments with them are priceless. So I highly suggest. Very highly. I'm kind of better at doing this towards my body, so the one thing about coloring on craft that's a little bit difficult is we're used to coloring on white. So when you color on white, everything obviously fades to white, right? So your highlight, you have like a ready-made highlight that is all nice and bright white. That's different with craft because you're fading to brown. So a lot of your lighter colors won't show up quite as well. So you have to kind of retrain your brain when you're coloring on craft to understand that your highlight is going to be tinted brown. And once you can do that, coloring on craft becomes this whole other ball of wax. Don't forget his little foot back here. I usually always forget it. So that's why I wanted to do some markers on craft paper today to show you. My coloring method is the same, except for the craft paper isn't as coated. So you're not going to have as much blendability. So wherever you put your color, that's kind of where it's going to stay. You can still blend together, just not as well. Hi, Linda Lou. Oh, hi, Nona. Hi, Mama. Thanks, Janet. YG97. So again, but I do love marker coloring on craft. I think it's fun. It gives you such a different look. It's very, to me, it's very like Tim Holtz-ish. It's very, just different. It's like shabby chic, kind of. I don't know. Words are hard. Do you hear Archie growling? Lord only knows what he's growling at out there. He might have seen a shadow. So again, the Sweet Sentiment Kraft paper, you can color markers on. It's really meant for pencil coloring, and I'm going to show you what we are going to add a little bit of pencil on top of this. Right, Cheryl? I know, Leah, you're still at work, but I wanted to tag you anyways. I thought it might be your lunchtime, but I don't know when you're working, what shift you're on. $95. And you see how this just becomes a method over and over. We're doing the same thing. And you can see it does blend quite well. It's just you don't have quite as much movability. So you can't push those colors quite as much as you can on the white. $8:30 to 4:30 this week. Oh, your meeting's wrapping up. Yay! Now, where you'll really notice the difference when you're coloring on craft as opposed to coloring on white is when you start getting into these much, much lighter colors. Because they're going to go onto the paper very dark, and then they'll lighten up as the alcohol dissipates. So that's what's very different about coloring on craft as opposed to coloring on white, because you can't see the true color of the marker until it dries. And that's okay. That's okay, because we're still going for it. Yay, you're listening now. So we're using Sweet Sentiment Kraft paper and Copic markers. And we used 3 different sets. We used Don't Hurry, we used Stay Home, and we used Tropical Flora. Okay, so see how dark, when I put this on there, how dark it is, and then see how it lightens up as soon as the alcohol dissipates. You can watch it right before your eyes. So it's actually really, really cool to see that work, but you do have to understand that you have to choose a little bit darker colors if you want it to really come out, because the colors that are really light aren't going to work quite as well. So like if I come in here with my colorless blender and I put a mark down here, see how dark that is? You'll be able to watch that just dry and go absolutely away. It's like disappearing ink. So, just so you know, that's kind of the difference in coloring with alcohol markers on, hi Lydia, on craft paper. So we have Sweet Sentiment Kraft paper, alcohol markers, we have our 3 stamp sets. We're gonna finish coloring this turtle. So I'm gonna choose E55, E53, E51, and for good measure, we're gonna toss in a little E50. Again, these are light colors and we're going to be on dark paper. So you're going to have to train your brain to understand, hey, Patty, you're here. You're going to have to train your brain to understand that you're not fading to white, you're fading to brown. So it's going to be a little bit different, but that's okay. We're going to roll with it. Lydia, I'm so happy you're here. Your Clarence video was adorable. Oh my gosh, the internet needs more Clarence. For real. He seriously loves those pecans. I love that he hugs your hand when you, or your finger, when you give him pecans. Or her. Whatever. The most misgendered squirrel in the whole world. Okay, and then behind his head. Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead and go up and do his shell as well. So we're going to put a nice shadow underneath everywhere where the snail is, because wherever the snail is, he would cast a shadow. He squeezes your hand in slow-mo. That's so stinking cute. Oh, you did, Rebecca? Good, good, good. Everybody should mark their Copics. I just cut all of my name out on a Cricut and put them on my Copics. I know a lot of people use washi tape, but when you go to a retreat or something, it's so difficult because sometimes people want to use one of your markers or whatever, which most of the time I say no to, like full disclosure. My Copics are like my children, and so I do not generally let people use them unless I know you super well. And yeah, so there's that. So very few people got to use my Copics. Sandy is one of the only people that gets to use my Copics because I figure she cleans and fills them all. Thank you, Holly. I just don't lend. It just whatever. But if you're sitting at a table with somebody, your markers tend to get like mixed in together. Okay, so this is where coloring on craft becomes a little more difficult because see how this lighter marker is turning this paper darker than what my shadow is? It's just because of the liquid. So once the alcohol dissipates, it will get lighter. Or evaporates or whatever. Dissipates, I think, is the wrong word entirely, but words are hard and adulting is hard. So we're just going to go with it. But see, once it lightens up, you can see where you need to put more. So again, it's just a brain thing. It's going to be scary because you're thinking that you're going darker when in reality, you're not. You're just not. I promise. You're just not. Look, Lydia, I got my nails redone. I have the Evil Queen and the magic mirror. Tyler, did you show Cameron my nails? Is Cameron on? Or did you actually go back to the office? Right, Jen, I would say especially not my children. I am a Copic mama bear. Tyler's seen it in action. I try to be nice about it, but sometimes people are like, can I use this marker? And I'm like, where do you want me to put ink? Because I'll put it there for you. All right. So you see, I'm just coloring really fast. This is like my normal speed of coloring. And I will tell you that coloring on craft paper, you don't have quite as much wiggle room because it's not coated like your traditional coloring paper. So the Sweet Sentiment coloring paper has those coatings on it. This is not sealed. It's not coated that way. So you have to play with it just a little bit more in order to get the smooth. Oh, you'll have to show her later. Archie, can you not bark, please? Thank you. E51. This is where it gets really scary because you're going over that highlight and it's going to be really dark for a second. I promise it'll dry. You'll be okay. I promise. So now I'm going to come in with my Luminance pencil again. And I don't know if I'm saying that right, but Luminance sounds right to me. And I'm not even going to try to tell you what that says. Not my language. I can hardly wait to get my nails. I know, right, Nona? So Archie, honey, please stop. Please. Thank you. So now I'm going to come in with my pencil and I'm going to add some highlights to the center. And so my pressure on this pencil, if you have a problem being too heavy-handed, between a scale of 1 and 10, my pressure is like maybe a 1. So if you have a problem with being too heavy-handed, hold your pencil further back. And the further back you hold it, the harder time you're going to have putting a whole bunch of pressure on it. So there's a little trick for you. And I'm just adding some highlights to the very brightest point. At least he went outside to bark. Karanash. Karanash. Where did the D come from? Jude, I use Polychromos. That's my pencil of choice. I'm going to do the same thing here. I love that you can tell me how to pronounce everything, Lydia. It makes me happy because, ooh, I'm bad at that. Now his little eye right here, my white pencil, Dosh. Okay. Because Siri did not want you to say that. Karandash. Oh my gosh, now she's yelling at me. So I'm going to use my white Jelly Roll pen. This is actually not a Jelly Roll. It's from Pear Blossom Press. Literally the best gel pens ever. Pear Blossom Press. I do have an affiliate link if you need it, but the Pear Blossom Press gel pens are literally the best. They don't clog up on you, and you can get these little tiny spots. I just love them. Stella the Yorkie. Hold on a second. My mom needs me to tag her. There you go. Archie's part Yorkie. Hi, Amy. Better get those, Nona. Yep, you guys totally need the Pear Blossom Press ones. Okay, so shout out a color for our little slug buddy here, our little snail friend. Anybody have a color preference for our little snail friend here? What would you like? What color would we like to color them? It's just gel polish. These are my actual nails, so it's just gel polish on top. Purple? Oh my gosh, everybody wants purple. I should have known. Everybody always wants purple. Everybody wants purple. Do we want a purple slug, or does he want a purple shell? Purple, 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 purple. Does he want a purple shell, or do we want a purple slug? Because I think if we do a purple shell, oops, earthquake. Don't mind me. If we're doing a purple shell, I'm pulling out some purple colored pencils. And that's just all there is to say about that. Pink body, gray slug, purple shell. Hey, Mom. Everybody, this is my real mom, Mickey Hunter. There she is. And this is my favorite pencil sharpener. I got this at Blick, and I put my sticker on it, but my absolute favorite pencil sharpener. And if you twist the sharpener, not the pencil, you will get a much sharper point, because you're putting less pressure on that. So twist the sharpener, not the pencil. Okay, so tiny circles. The reason I chose to color his shell with pencils is because you're going to get a lot more texture. I love colored pencils because you get that really cool texture. Again, on a scale of 1 to 10, my pressure here is maybe a 1, maybe like 0.5. And I'm letting the pencil do the work for me. But you're going to get a much more vibrant shell. I'm just not a fan of Copic purples. I have purchased Pro markers that Jude sent me. Pro markers have a much better purple than the Copic purple. And I know, Jen, every day. Hi, real mom. That's my real mom. The Pro marker ink mixes with the Copic and blends with the Copic ink like perfectly. So if you want to supplement your purples, your Copic purples, I highly suggest Pro markers. And since some people said pink, I'm going on the side of like a pinky purple. Again, not very much pressure with these pencils. You don't need much pressure. And you're going to color in layers with pencils. Everything is layers. But to me, when people say mixed media, this is what I envision, because we have markers, we have pencils, we have the whole gamut here. We have, I miss the sharpener. It's this one, Lydia. I got it at Blick. It's just a little jar. And German sharpener. And if you twist the sharpener, not the pencil, you get a much better sharp. And I always just twist and then go backwards, twist and go backwards, twist and go backwards. It doesn't eat your pencil non-necessarily. It doesn't eat up a bunch of your pencil. If you notice, I don't have a ton of pencil shavings in here. A lot of it is just lead sharpening. So there's a lot of little lead shavings down there. Oh, you have it? Awesome. I really, really love it. It's like the best sharpener I've ever had. And I have spent some money on some pencil sharpeners, let me tell you. Let me tell you. Because if you're going to spend all this money on these polys, you really want a great sharpener. I don't think people quite understand how important your craft supplies are, and I know Lydia will back me up on this one, but if you buy Crayola crayons, or if you buy Crayola pencils, construction paper's fine. Like, good job, rock on with your bad self. But if you're going to spend $3 per pencil, you better have good paper, because otherwise you're wasting the potential of the pencil. That's like buying a brand new iPad Pro so you can play solitaire when a deck of cards will do. So really, people, if you're going to spend $7 per Copic marker, don't get crappy paper. Don't go out and color on Hammermill. It's not going to do anything for you. And you're going to be disappointed in your coloring because it's not going to turn out like everybody else's because they're using professional paper. So if you're going to spend the money on the supplies, you need to spend the money on the paper. And I'm not saying go buy needlessly expensive paper, but I am saying you need to buy the right paper for the project. So this is pencil paper. It's got tooth to it, not too much tooth, but it's meant to absorb a number of layers of pencil coloring. So you notice this is layer 2, and how much more vibrant this color is getting. And that's what you want. Hi, Becky. Yeah, pencils work up pretty fast when you're doing something small like this. It's when you're like coloring people and things. Ask Carrie. It takes quite a while for your pencils to build up. But if you're doing something small like this shell where you have lots of open space, your pencils will actually work up just fine. Okay, so I'm only going to do 3 layers of this. And so my next layer, again, I'm going to sharpen my pencil. You always want a nice sharp pencil. And my next layer of this, so I've been telling you my pressure's been really light. On a scale of 1 to 10, my pressure's going to be about a 7 or an 8. I'm not enough to break the pencil lead, but I'm certainly enough to burnish the paper. And I also kind of feather off the edges. So I'm a 7 or an 8. Oops, I'm a 7 or an 8 back here, but I'm like a 4 or a 5 up here. Again, down here, like a 7 or an 8 down here, so that I'm burnishing the paper. But then as I come out, I'm like a 4 or a 5. 7 or an 8. Now, I usually always color, you guys see this piece of acetate under my fingers. When you hold your paper, you tend to get sweaty fingers, or I get sweaty fingers sometimes, and I don't want to leave fingerprints all over my card. So I just grab a piece of acetate because it slides over everything and it doesn't mar your coloring, so that I don't leave fingerprints on my paper. So I always have a spare piece of mylar or acetate or something hanging out. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. I know, I love pencil coloring. It just really, it really makes things pop. Oh man, and I forgot this little section again. I keep on forgetting this little spot. Okay, so if any of you want to win this project from today, don't forget to share this video and then come back and comment, hashtag did someone say prizes, and you can win this project from today. And who doesn't want to win this cute little turtle and snail? So go forth into the world and share this video and then come back, which it'll bring you right back here. Hopefully, if Facebook's working today. And you come back and just in the comments, hashtag did someone say prizes? And once I upload this video to my YouTube, I will search the hashtags and randomly choose a winner to win whatever this ends up being today. I'm sure this will end up being a card. But whatever project I make, you will win. Okay. Thank you, Tracy. Be kind to yourself. I mean, so on dry land, I'm a 2 to a 3, but apparently when you're on a boat, in the military, you automatically add 5 to your number. So I'm a solid 8 on a boat, 7 or an 8 for sure. For shizzle. Okay. That's funny. My mom's here. I can't be too mean to myself. Because she'll ground me. Archie, no. Okay. So see how much texture that leaves on his shell? I love that. Now I am going to come in again. Thank you, Mama. That's adorable. Thanks, Holly. Thank you for sharing, Becky. So I'm going to come in with my Luminance pencil again. I am going to use circular motions because this is the highlight on his shell. And everything else is done in a circular motion. And I'm going to draw this highlight up the center of his shell. Yay! I'm also going to use this to go around the whites of his eyes because I want his eyes to really pop. And I'm not too worried about going over the black part because I'm going to draw that back in. I'm not like purposely trying to go over the black part, his pupil, but I'm also not too worried about it because I'm just going to draw it back in. Now he really has like bug eyes. Bug eyes! A snail with style. My mama says be nice, so shh, we have to be nice. Okay, so I heard a couple people say gray. I think gray would be a great color for the snail. Anybody else have an opinion? Where number? The number is the pressure, Sherry. The pressure that I have on the pencil. Gray, Tracy? Okay, we're going to do gray. So I think that since this is all very warm, I'm going to go with a cool gray. And I'm actually going to go a little bit neutral. So I'm going to do N4, N3, N1, and no. I love my no. So we're going to start with N4. And I'm going to do some brush strokes. I hate when people say flicking. So if you say flicking, that's your business. But it's one of my pet peeves. Because I don't know about you, when I grew up, this was flicking. Like, mama flicked your ear or something if you got in trouble. Look at me calling my mom out right now. It was more like my sisters flicked my ear or something. Just to be mean. Because I have 3 older sisters, so that's the thing. But this is flicking. This marker has a brush nib on it, so this is a brush stroke. So I'm putting brush strokes where all of the shadows would be. Archie, honey, can you stop growling, please? Hey, stop. Maybe he senses... Allison, you're late to the coloring party. He senses splotchy. Lydia. Is Splotchy or Maddie near? That's what Archie's barking at. So I'm using little brush strokes. And I'm adding these brush strokes. And again, I'm just coloring quickly. It doesn't have to be like absolutely perfect. This is a snail. So, you know. I don't know if you've ever been up close and personal with a snail before, but they're not exactly the most majestic creatures in the world. And oh, maybe Archie senses Maddie snoring. He's trying to wake her up. Again, I have the acetate under my fingers just because I don't want the oils from my fingers to leave marks on my paper. Okay. And then NO. Again, understand that when you color this, your paper's going to turn really dark because these are alcohol markers. So the liquid that's in them is going to turn your paper really dark. But as that liquid evaporates, that alcohol will evaporate and it will leave you with a nice light finish. It's the hardest part about coloring on craft paper, I promise. So again, we're going to go back to our Luminance pencil. I'm going to add some highlight here. A little bit here. Across his nose. Okay. Now, what I like to do when I color with pencil, because pencil kind of dulls those black lines, is I take my Schwartz Black, which you can tell is a well-loved pencil. Yeah, Amanda, of course. Of course, of course. I didn't see that comment until Sandy replied to you. And then I like to go over the stamped lines. And I just realized I forgot his tail. Okay. So back to what I was saying. I like to go over the stamped lines. And then I'm going to shade in his spots. So up here around his eyes where I covered them with the pencil. It just makes everything pop. So I always like to take an extra second to do this. And it just brings those cartoon style lines back into play. And I think that they're really needed on an image like this. Oh, look at that little snail. Him's so cute. Okay, now we're going to deal with this. I know, scary. So I have my Walnut Brown. This is number 177, Walnut Brown. And everything that's under this line, everything that's on the bottom, I'm going to shadow. Really soft. And again, I'm using small circular motions. Really soft. Everything on the bottom side. Everybody still with me? Okay. Now, oh, Lydia's going to be so proud of me because I'm about to get messy. Not super messy, but a little bit. Okay, so now I have my cloth right here, and I'm going to just dry my fingers off to make sure I don't have a bunch of oil on my fingers. Diana, this is the Sweet Sentiment Kraft paper. And I'm going to rub that pencil. And the reason you do this is because it softens the edges of it so that it's not quite so harsh. And I'm putting a lot of pressure on this. I'm putting like 10 or 11. Ew. Ew. I think everybody's watching intently. Maybe. Then I go back to my white pencil, and everything that's on the top of this line, I'm going to shade with white or highlight with white. Just really soft. I don't want lines. I don't want to be able to see the pencil marks. I just want this nice soft haze around it. It does make a difference, yeah. What did she ask? Does craft paper also have a shimmer? No, the craft paper does not have a shimmer. The reason being is because craft paper is meant for pencil coloring. Am I still with you guys? Okay, because the video like ended on my computer. This white pencil is the Luminance white pencil. This white. There we go. Think I'm back. Okay. So just a little bit more white shading around here just to make this nice and light. Okay. So now we have like our highlight and our shadow on there. Then the other thing is I'm going to take this pencil, I'm going to go back down to the bottom. I'm going to use the side of the pencil lead. And I'm going to add a little bit of grounding for them. I don't want a whole lot. I just want enough to give you the idea that he's not levitating. But I like using the side of the pencil for this because you get to pick up all that really cool texture in the paper. And that's all just free texture. Like Lydia says, it's free. It cost you $0 to make that texture. Remember when you were little and you used to do like the leaf rubbings? That's what this reminds me of. So you have all that nice free texture. Now I'm going to come in, I'm going to add a little bit of highlights with just this white pencil. Okay, and if you really want to go all crazy like, get all wild and crazy, back to my Schwartz black, I'm going to just add a little bit of a darker shadow underneath his feet, where his feet touch the ground. $0. It cost you $0 for that texture. But it really does show you the amount of texture in the paper. And that's kind of to my point, is you really want the right paper for the job. And so if you are using pencils, this is the right paper for the job. Okay, so let me zoom out. Woo, that was the wrong way. Okay, so here's our full card. So now let's make it into a card real fast, and I'll show you how I finish up this project. Oh my gosh, he's so stinking cute. Okay, so let me grab a card base. Because I always have a million card bases pre-cut. And yes, I cut all my own card bases. Right, Sandy? Yeah, you can barely see that white. It's super duper cool. And then I'm going to grab my trimmer here, and I'm going to trim this down just a bit because it's the same size as my card base. So I like to trim everything 1/8 of an inch smaller. So this vertical direction was 4 1/4. Now it's going to be 4 1/8. And the horizontal direction is 5 1/2. Now it's going to be 5 3/8. Okay. The other thing that I really like to do is I like to grab my Distress ink. And this one I've grabbed Gathered Twigs. And I never like to leave anything just blank. So I start off the sides of the paper. And I just distress the edges ever so slightly. It's not a ton, but just enough. To give you that little bit of vintage flair to it. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited for whoever's going to win this one today. Remember, if you want to win this prize, this project that I'm working on right here, all you have to do is share this video and then comment hashtag did someone say prizes. Okay, I know, Sandy. Maybe I'll make us some. Then I grab my Barely Arts glue. This is the best glue in the world. Best glue ever. And yes, I recycle my paper just in case I stamp something I don't want to color. I think Sandy stamped this for me. Okay, and then I put this on here. The cool thing is with this glue is it gives me a second to reposition my paper so it's nice and flat. Then I turn it over and I use my espresso and I push this on here. So I have nice, even, smooth adhesion with no glue bubbles. Thank you, Julie. Now, you guys know that a card wouldn't be a card without the Jamie final touch. So let me get my stickles and let me get my pen. So here's the signature. There you go. And my stickles, which is very, very, very important. I'm a stickles girl. So I'm just going to do 3 dots. This will freak you guys out, but I always follow the Fibonacci sequence with my cards. And so in following that, I need something in the top and bottom corners that are opposite each other so that your focal point is here, but you start and you go in. And so, yeah, Fibonacci. Mathematics and cards. That's how I roll. So there you go, guys. There is our project for today. I hope you really, really, really loved it. Oh, for cute's sake. Thank you guys for joining me. I really appreciate it. What I'm going to do is upload this video to my YouTube. So you have, oh, hey, Mary Jo. So you have a couple of minutes. You can still share this video and you can comment here. Did someone say prizes? Once I upload this to my YouTube channel, I will have random.com or my random teenager pick a winner and I will mail this card to you. So you can tell me if you want me to write inside of it, or you can tell me if you want to leave it blank because you want to send this card out to someone else. So thank you guys for joining me today. I think this was a really cute project. I loved all the different types of media on it and that we used so many different stamp sets. And I will see you all hopefully tomorrow. And then Jen and I are going to be packing up and headed to Sacramento for our Stamp and Scrapbook Expo show. So again, thanks for joining me and I'll see you guys all later. Toodles!